That's the face of a murderer. Obviously, I could be the murderer. Any one of us could be. You are mad. You're mad. You're mad. I'm living in a mad world.
I think it's an as good a theory as literally any other theory that has been positive.
No, it isn't.
Park says eggs.
Open shut case. It's Dom.
Hello, I'm Laurie from No Rolls Barred, and welcome to Board Game Club, where the first rule of Board Game Club is who are you? Who? Every week we get a group of friends here in the NRB studio to show you just how much fun board gaming can be. And this week, for Replay Month, we are playing Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, designed by Toby Ho and published by Jolly Thinkers. Now, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong is both a social deduction game and just a plain old deduction game, in which players will be playing investigators trying to solve a murder by finding the correct murder weapon and piece of evidence from the cards in front of all the other players. At the beginning of the game, players are all going to be dealt one of these roll cards, which might just be a plain old investigator, or they might be on the bad team as the murderer or the accomplice. So quickly to clarify, if you gain the investigator card, you're on the good team. You're just trying to solve this murder. If you gain the murderer card, guess what? You're the leader of the bad team. You're going to be trying to hide the fact that you committed this crime and which pieces of evidence are specifically relevant to the crime, because you'll be picking those after this phase, choosing one murder weapon and one piece of evidence from in front of you. The murderer's accomplice will find out who the murderer is, but not which items they used to commit the crime, and the witness will know both the murderer and the accomplice, but not know which one is which role. There is a mechanic at the end of the game that if the murderer is found out, they can try to guess who the witness is, because if they kill off the witness, they get away with the crime. The final piece of the puzzle is this though, the forensic scientist. And normally you would shuffle them in with all the other roll cards and deal them out to the players. Whoever draws that card is going to be playing the forensic scientist for this game, but we have a very special forensic scientist in our midst. It's forensic scientist Terry. That's the noise that a forensic scientist make. Ooh, there's been a murder. The forensic scientist's job is to guide the other investigator players towards the murderer, the murder weapon, and the crucial piece of evidence, because they will be told that before the game begins. However, they are not allowed to speak. They can only communicate through the use of bullets. It's like they're Michael Bay or something. Our forensic investigator is going to place their bullets onto all of the relevant pieces of information on these tiles, and then our players are going to have an open discussion about what has been placed onto the tiles and use that to guide them towards different bits of information. For instance, our cause of death in this little scenario is suffocation, which might lead us towards the various methods of suffocation in front of players, like this person who conspicuously has both a pillow and a plastic bag. Very, very suffocating. Over here, we've got some metal wire that could also be used for that, so I'm looking kind of suspicious now. And maybe at a push, we could say packing tape. You get to have an open conversation about all of these things, discussing all of the possibilities that these bits of information could lead you to. And then each player gets to make a 30-second presentation to the other players, guiding them towards what they are thinking. Obviously, your murderer and accomplice are trying to push blame onto other players and away from themselves. And the witness will be trying to subtly guide the other players in the direction of the bad uns in their midst. At the ends of round 1 and 2, our forensic scientist is going to be allowed to replace some of these cards with new tiles from the deck. This might be because they are leading players down the wrong path. It might be because the information on them wasn't good enough to begin with. Play will go on like that for 3 rounds, with players discussing the information they've been presented by the forensic scientist, pushing blame in different directions and theorizing over all the possible different combinations of weapons and evidence, with the murderer and accomplice trying to shift blame away from themselves. But at any point, a player can make an arrest, and they do that by handing in their badge, just like a regular police officer does. You get one in you, one arrest for your entire career. To do this, you hand in your badge and then you say, I think it was this player using this with this piece of evidence. Now, the forensic scientist is the one who's going to answer this question, and Regardless of whether you've got one piece of information right or you've got it all wrong, they are either just going to give a yes or a no. If you nail it and you get the correct murderer, the correct weapon, and the correct piece of evidence, you get a yes, your team wins. If you happen to get the correct murderer and the correct weapon, but the evidence is wrong, guess what? You're just getting a no. Once a player is handed in their badge, they can no longer make an arrest, so it'll be up to other players to find the correct culprit, weapon, and piece of evidence. However, as I said, if the good team do manage to find the murderer, the weapon, and the evidence, the murderer's team do get to try to find the witness, and if they kill the witness, they win the game. We'll go through anything else as it comes up, but let's find out if our would-be CSIs will crack this case or whether our murderer is going to get away scot-free. Find out as we play Deception: Murder in Hong Kong. Joining me to solve this murder, and only 2 weeks from retirement, it's Detective Ivan.
Hello!
Only 2 months from retirement, it's Detective Rosie.
Hello.
Only 2 years from retirement, it's Detective Ken.
Kill me.
Only 2 decades from retirement, it's Detective Dom.
I'm the new kid.
And only 2 lifetimes from retirement, it's Detective Sully. Who's also a Muppet. He's in his Muppet lifetime right now. Next year he'll turn into a human if he's good. Right, so we're playing Detective Murder in Hong Kong. What we have to do?
It's deception, isn't it?
Deception. That's it.
Detective.
All right, I've said detective too many times. All right, it's too late in the afternoon. We're playing Deception: Murder in Hong Kong. I deceived you all. We all have various clues and weapons in front of us. We've also all been given a card because we're playing a 6-player game of this. Technically a 7-player game because Terry is going to be giving out the clues. We have one murderer amongst us. We have one accomplice amongst us who knows who the murderer is and what they did it with. And we have a witness who will know who the murderer and the accomplice are, but not which cards they used to commit the crime. Wow. Let's go through what everyone's clues are and what their weapons are before we go into the phase where the murderer is going to choose how they did it.
Lovely stuff. Well, I first of all have plastic, which I'm presuming means plastic bottle because it shows a plastic bottle. Graffiti, bell, and bread. Those are my clues. My weapons are candlestick, potted plant, explosives, and venomous snake. Or the gift slanger, as they call it in German.
The gift slanger.
Gift slanger.
Go on, slang that over in.
My clues are herbal medicine, mirror, contact lens, and steamed buns. A Hong Kong delicacy. The tools of the wicked trade are sulfuric acid, towel, axe, venomous scorpion.
Ooh.
Oh, sounds very murderous.
Yeah.
I've got a magazine. Some eggs, a signature, prescription, a scarf, a dagger, a steel tube, and a pistol.
Signature.
A signature on a piece of paper.
A signature
Foolish
on a
of the
piece of
murderer
paper,
to
yeah.
sign their
Right,
name.
their name,
Yeah,
Ken-
actually, I was,
Oh, a fan.
no, I've got the fan.
Hey! So my clues are a cockroach, obviously, a gift, a bandage. The German word for bandage is also bandage. A lock, and then, don't read anything into this, guys, but my murder weapons of choice are a rope, a wrench, a cleaver, and arsenic.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're
Yeah, I think
I'm sure you're very chill.
You just
I'm
carry
a
that
very
around.
cool guy.
Don't
You-
misjudge
you-
him.
So you carried that around for what reason?
I've just bought it all.
You just bought it all?
Yeah, no, I'm taking it home.
Yeah,
I'm
just-
taking it
It's
home.
actually a meal deal.
I'm
You
allowed
asked
to
for
have it. It's
You asked
a
for
meal
such a
deal.
side.
Yeah, well, it just made it much cheaper to buy a sandwich and a drink if I got the arsenic with it, because that's the way that meal deal economics works.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's good stuff.
Rosie, what have you got?
One of my clues is a cat. Ring, sand, and a key.
A cat who always tells the truth.
Cat. Yeah.
Stop giving the game away, cat.
He's quite a funny cat, I will say. He's got quite an elongated head.
Cutie.
We've got a lighter. We've got a bat, as in like a baseball bat, dumbbell, and mercury.
So my clues are air conditioning. I don't know if that's the unit or just the concept of air conditioning, but we can decide that later.
Yeah.
Bracelet, antique, luggage, and then my weapons are a bamboo tip, a whip, a stone, and a belt, which is very sexy. Like a generally quite.
Whip and a belt.
That's yeah, these are some. You are definitely the sexiest.
Yeah, I got it in the meal deal.
Yeah.
Incredible.
The mildew at Ann Summers.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So we're all going to close our eyes now, and first of all, the murderer and the accomplice are going to discover who each other are. Then the murderer is going to pick their clue and the weapon that they use to commit this murder. Ideally, ones that lead people to think it might be somebody else's items. They're then going to close their eyes. The witness is going to open their eyes, and Terry is going to show them who the murderer and accomplice are. If you wish to play along at home, though, keep your eyes closed while we have our eyes closed, and you can play along. Otherwise, you're going to know everything. All right, then, everyone, close your eyes.
I already had.
Yeah, I closed my eyes.
I saw- I
I
looked at
didn't
it.
realise and
Eyes
opened my
closed.
eyes again.
It was. I knew it was going to be a really long explanation, so I had mine open.
That's because you were in your mind.
Would have been.
I can't help that, guys.
Murderer
Would have been insane
and
if you.
accomplice. Open your eyes. Murderer. Indicate the key evidence and means of murder. A murderer and accomplice, close your eyes. Witness, open your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. And then everyone, open your eyes.
The game is afoot. Which means it's time for Terry, our forensic investigator, to give us some clues.
Forensic investigator.
Forensic investigator. Every one of these clues will refer to one of the cards of the murderer has picked, basically.
One of them.
Yeah,
They can't.
they won't be split across both, essentially.
You can't try and get both in one clue.
No.
Yeah.
So let's just turn these around so we can all see them,
How
shall
are we ever
we?
going to get the second clue?
We don't. We. Well,
So
between
we-
them, we'll get them.
Yeah, like the
we don't know what Terry has assigned, like each of these clues to,
I see.
but we can deduce that.
Oh, but so between them they could refer to both,
Horrible.
but each one only refers
Yes,
to one.
that's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
I
Yes,
see what's
exactly.
going on.
You
Okay,
can't
so you're
split
not
across two.
You're not inferring a meaning from both. Picking
Correct.
A horrible park afternoon murder.
Okay.
Of a fit person.
A cracked park. A horrible cracked park.
I mean, cracked is immediately saying egg to me. I'm sorry, Ken, but that is
Well,
okay.
that's how
You
things
say
go.
that.
be a mirror.
It could also be a bell.
It could be a
Oh,
mirror.
it could be Bell,
Could be a
yeah.
bell.
Or a
mirror.
mirror. Or a vase.
Oh,
Or a-
God,
a
oh,
mirror.
God, what am I
Or in fact,
saying?
any of these objects.
Or cracked
Sand
sand.
is cracked.
not a
Right
cockroach.
thing, right?
Can't get a
Crack
cracked
lot.
cockroach.
Oh, you can crack a cockroach.
Right.
Crack a
I
lot.
It's
Crack
you can
a lot.
crack a lot.
You
Yeah.
get me a nutcracker, I'll crack you a cockroach.
I think
That's where you get to the good meat.
It's like a crab.
Yeah, like it's
I think one of the
Delicate.
biggest clues is it being at the park.
Yes.
Because that
Park.
rules out like a few. It might, or what leads us outside is basically.
You
what-
wouldn't have a potted plant at a park.
You wouldn't
Because you've got real plants.
But like
Free
for instance,
plants.
graffiti.
Yep.
You might
yeah.
see that at a park.
Yeah.
And venomous snake could be let loose in the park in theory.
Sand.
So that would be like
Sand.
for me. Only the scorpion could be let loose in the park. But other than that, nothing else says park about your stuff here.
Dirty
No,
magazines in a
no.
hedge.
Dirty magazines in a hedge.
yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah,
look
that's
at
pretty
this.
good.
Look at
This
this.
murder
Dirty
took
magazine.
place
Like
in like the late 90s.
Part of a page. It's
What
really
is that black
very
stuff
specific.
as well?
Oh yeah.
Steel tube you could potentially have in a park if
Yep.
it's like a
Yeah.
play park.
Scarf because
Scarf because you're
somebody's wearing it
outside. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Although,
I mean,
there was
arsenic.
suffocation on
Arsenic.
there.
Arsenic is applicable wherever, guys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I've got it on me. Just don't worry about
But
it.
it specifically says park. The only thing that says like more outside than anything else is cockroach for you, I'd say. Like,
Yes, that's true.
If it was anything indoors, park, I feel like there must be something
Park
that is
birthday.
really saying. But yeah, maybe, yeah. But really saying outdoors.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would just choose.
Well, because there's two outdoors options here as well.
Yeah,
What's the other one?
Woods.
Woods.
Woods. Interesting.
Woods.
I've got stone, but I don't. Well,
Stone says park.
Stone
Stone
says park.
Stone says park.
Could be woodstone as well.
Bamboo could be park.
Bamboo could
Unlikely,
be park.
but could be. But
Afternoon.
I guess you could
What do
have
think of
sand
afternoon?
for mine.
Oh yes, sand as well. Sand.
Maybe
absolutely.
dumbbell.
That's what I was saying. Sand,
Maybe
yeah.
Dumbo in like a park gym. Maybe cat.
Well, we're never going to solve this, are we?
Well, there we go. We gave
Let's
it
call
our
it
best
a
shot,
day.
guys.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's-
it, guys.
Yeah.
Afternoon, you were saying?
Afternoon.
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 Steamed
Bread
buns.
in the
Steamed buns.
afternoon.
Bread
you
you
have
can have in the
dim sum.
afternoon.
Dim sum.
No, bread is a breakfast thing. I think
Not-
the steamed
not
bun
that
is
Bread
kind
is
of
a-
breakfast.
bread
That's
is a
picnic.
lunchtime thing.
That's a picnic
Which
part
crests
afternoon.
the afternoon because you have a sandwich at
Bread
lunchtime.
is any
Yeah.
time of day
Classic
or
bottle,
night.
maybe.
I'm thinking of baguettes though.
Yeah, that's what that is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
baguette's not a morning thing, surely. Like
dunno,
yeah,
you
no,
buy
I
a
think
fresh
it-
baguette in the morning
Well,
to
just
have a
a little
lunchtime.
man returning in his pannier with a little bread. It feels like I think steamed buns is more.
Who's the least
In a park,
sus?
I wouldn't associate steamed bun with a
Yeah, who can we
park.
rule
Well,
out?
no,
Can we
steamed
rule
bun
out
might associate
anyone?
with the
Ivan
afternoon.
seems.
I don't know.
I was
I
gonna
think
ask what that
Stone
yellow,
and Park.
yellow one is.
This one?
Yeah.
That's the hand
Towel.
touch.
hand
The
touch.
towel.
Yeah. So I don't think that. I don't think that.
Okay.
Unless this is if this is the clue and not the murder weapon, basically, is the tricky thing.
I'm
That's-
seeing severe injury and horrible, and I think we should be looking for a weapon that is truly
Good
violent.
point.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Cleaver.
Cleaver is pretty.
Dagger,
Bats.
maybe.
Hey, leave my
Cleaver.
park
Bats,
cleaver out.
Yeah.
Of this.
It was in the meal deal.
Axe. I mean, these
Axe
are
is
all quite
massive.
violent.
Yeah.
I'd say
Don't
bat
forget-
as well. Bat.
A bat.
Yeah.
Getting hit with a bat.
Yes.
Yeah, even a bamboo tip could be really horrible.
That's true.
It's
yeah.
worth
And look,
noting.
and
It's not.
stone.
It's not poisoning, so we can rule out the snake and the.
Yeah. It's not suffocation
Yeah, that's true.
either.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not. Is there like an exploded option?
Well, it's severe injury and horrible. I would say that
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be an
that
explosion.
could be explosion.
Well, state of the scene,
Could
there
be
is ashes and bits and pieces are a possibility. So I think that rules out
cracked,
explosion.
yeah.
Cracked.
That's true.
cracked.
Cracked.
Something like
The
a
state
cracked
of the sea.
window, maybe. Or like a cracked.
But why have they kept windows in
The
the
crack
park?
of a whip. No one came up with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
that.
true.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
why I'm getting so excited about my own clue. Oh, it could be me.
Cracked is the state of the scene, so it does feel like maybe.
Blunt force.
Maybe broken glass,
Yeah.
like someone's been swinging a bat around.
Yeah, let's guess it.
in a park.
Yeah, because they were playing rounders. or
Baseball,
something.
yeah, round.
Yeah, because they're playing baseball. Yeah, in a park would be perfect with a
Okay.
baseball
I suppose
bat.
that does.
Okay.
But
I mean,
crack doesn't necessarily
does.
go with that. But yeah, yeah.
Slam
Does,
dunk.
because if
Slam
you-
dunk.
If you smash someone's head with a baseball bat, it might crack their skull.
And when are you going to play
That's true.
baseball in the
That's
park?
true.
The afternoon.
The
afternoon.
And who's going to play baseball?
Oh, no, it's
Fit
me.
people.
Yes, fit is interesting.
I'm
Oh,
locked in, I'm
Jesus.
locked in.
May I have the magnifying glass of talk?
The magnifying glass of talk.
Hello. Here am.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think it's Rosie. I think it's Rosie, the baseball bat. Look at her face. That's the face of a murderer. I think the baseball bat leads us to fit, outside in the park, afternoon, cracked, all of that works. I think we just got to find the clue at this point. Thank you. I cede my time.
Hello. Dom Allen, Hong Kong Police. I do agree about the Rosie thing. The only thing that bothers me about the Rosie thing is that the Rosie clues aren't really represented on this very much. That's what I'm struggling with. But certainly a bat could give us severe injury. However, I will bring us back to Ken. I think the eggs could have been cracked by the victim who dropped them. They're eating eggs because they're fit. There's a horrible murder with any of these weapons: a dagger, a steel tube, or a pistol. Although dagger, I'd probably go with loss of blood. Severe injury, I reckon it was a steel tube. Sorry?
Yield your time.
No, I won't yield it, but if I've run out of time, I'll stop.
Yes.
But I get some of Sullivan's time because he yielded it. So I'm leaning more towards Ken is the answer.
Oh. Well, it's not me. You're barking up the wrong tree. I'm just an investigator. Rose is probably a fair shout, the bat, but also Sullivan has loads of park-related things, like graffiti, could be explosive, the plastic bottle, the bread, all of it. So I'm looking at those two. I think everyone else has things which are more spurious. So I'm looking at one of those two. There is suffocation on here, so it rules out quite a lot of things that suffocate people, and poison and loss of blood and all that stuff. So we were looking at big mighty weapon creating a horrible mess. I yield my time.
Hello, it's me. I do think bat is probably the best option right now in terms of what we're looking at. We've got park, which I think either is, if that is pointing towards Sullivan's graffiti, then good. But I feel like the Park with this is just saying a screaming bat to me right now. Severe injury, I think, could be a lot of the weaponry on here. Cracked, maybe that is the clue rather than it is the weapon, just because of there's a few different. I don't know, but there's a few things that fit cracked, but cracked could just be the state of the victim as well. So I think that is worth considering.
Hello. Thank you for all of your consideration of my bat. It's nice of you, nice to feel included. I just want to quickly say that if we're saying that fit, afternoon, cracked, horrible, park, and severe injury all relate to bat, I think that's a bit of a coincidence. So I think that is probably a coincidence that directs like all of those clues to this one thing when actually we're looking for two things. So I think that's too much of a coincidence for that all to be like. I think that's unfortunate. So for other, I would say park could also relate to like gift or anything that is related to like children or young people as well. So yeah, that's my main defense, just because I think there's been a lot of talk about that on this round. Thank you. Good night.
Is it on? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think you're right that it all relates to bat, although park could relate to sand. But I feel like more than one.
That's true.
More than one would. And I don't see severe injury relating to sand. I don't see horrible relating to sand, apart from that the blood might like seep into it. Sand doesn't crack. Afternoon, nothing to do with sand. And fit. The only other thing I was just thinking was like the vitamins for Dom, horrible injury, an axe wound. And I don't know how the park would relate to those two things though. So that idea doesn't follow particularly. Thank you for your time. I will stop.
Park could relate to plastic bottle, actually.
Yeah, that's
Laurie
what the
raises a
idea
good point about cracked if it's the batter's cracked someone's head in.
Yeah.
The skull's cracked.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to
That would be
describe a scene.
That was my thought when I first
Well,
saw
the
cracked.
state of the
Is that what
scene.
that meant?
Cracked head.
Does anyone want to throw their badge in?
Not yet.
Not
Really?
quite
No?
yet.
Okay, well then shall we move on to the next round? So the victim's occupation is chef.
Boss.
Boss.
Okay, boss, sorry, yeah. Is a boss. Professional, worker, student, unemployed, or retired. What do bosses have?
They got
Guys?
snakes. Oh, fuck.
They've got cars that need keys.
Cars that need keys.
Oh.
They need schlussels for their cars.
Yeah.
They had
schlussels.
They could have gifts for their wife that they're
got-
cheating on.
Antiques for their brains.
Antiques because they're rich.
Briefcase.
Briefcases.
Ooh,
Well, it says luggage.
I think.
Luggage.
I
yeah.
think.
But they're jet setters.
But you could
Yeah.
say luggage and stone.
Signatures on their credit
Ooh,
cards.
That's
Yeah,
a good
luggage
shout.
and stone
Luggage and stone.
could be park
That could be park.
and be horrible and cracked.
Do you think
Yeah.
luggage would be more professional, boss? It doesn't seem. Or would you be carrying, as an unemployed person, would you be carrying your luggage around with you the whole
Antique.
time? I don't feel like it's more that than the other two.
Antiques get cracked.
They do.
A cracked antique.
Oh my goodness.
This is blowing this case
Mind
wide
you,
open.
boss,
But it's
you
also
would
made it
definitely relate that
impossible
to
to solve.
bank.
The park must relate to something else.
Yeah, because also it only has to relate to one of the cards, right?
Yeah,
so
it
like
must
this
be
could be
related to
somebody.
something else.
True.
So park could be to do with either the clue or the
Or
murder
the murder
weapon,
weapon.
and then this one could be to the opposite one of somebody's thing. So
Boss.
Boss has really like,
homemade.
twizzled my giblies.
It could be like mirror.
When we say park,
Yes.
Yeah.
could it be interpreted as car park?
Car park.
Oh, that's a good.
You might put supermarket.
Do you not think that they would have been swapped? I think it would. If we'd been saying park and it meant car park, I think it would have been swapped out between this.
Are you allowed to
No,
swap
you
these
can't
ones?
swap this one.
No,
Then
you can't.
forget I said anything.
You can't swap
I
those
think
two.
I think car park. I think park is definitely
But then if it
A
was car
park.
park, maybe you go supermarket,
supermarket or
Or bank.
bank
Yeah.
or Ferienhaus. What is that?
vacation.
Vacation home. Okay, now.
Boss.
School.
So that maybe that.
Scarf.
What, have you got medication there, or what is it?
I've got herbal medicine.
Herbal medicine.
Herbal medicine.
That doesn't say boss to me for sure.
No.
I mean, like, there's nothing here. Like maybe lens,
Yeah.
but like
Why that more
it
than
doesn't
anything
say
else?
doesn't. It says a boss. I'm just like it's like. Yeah,
Towel?
they could have
They might have a
steam
towel?
buns. They probably have a mirror, but you know.
It's weird that we're only looking for the murderer among the people who work for the Hong Kong police, isn't it?
yeah,
I'm so sure it's one of us.
everyone
Yeah.
else in Hong
It
Kong.
normally
yeah.
is. To be fair.
Yeah. Every case we've ever solved, it was one of us.
Ring.
Belt kind of could possibly relate to boss.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
If they're
But
a sexy
Would you not go
boss.
more
Oh yeah, Christian Grey boss.
Yeah.
Come in the
But-
red room.
But those are the murder weapons, and they don't give severe injury as much. Like a belt would be
Well,
suffocation, I reckon.
Yeah, it'd be
A belt would be
suffocation, yeah.
suffocation.
Would be severe injury.
A whip would be
A
severe.
whip might be severe injury.
The only one of
thing
mine that
is-
could be severe injury, I think, is the rock.
Stone.
The thing is with the whip is that it's not going to be. None of the clues give.
Well, I
Park.
think the issue with
Anyway,
this,
so-
the issue with this is that severe injury. The options are, I guess, loss of blood is the one that you would use for slashing weapons.
Yeah, like a dagger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
slashing damage is loss of blood, maybe.
pistol.
So severe injury, we're saying that's
Blunt force
blunt
trauma.
force damage.
Loss of blood.
To be honest, I think Park rules out me, and I think it rules out. I think it actually rules out Ivan as well. And I think it rules out Laurie.
I don't think it rules out Ivan.
How about for boss? How about signature?
The stone.
No, listen,
Oh,
listen,
that's
signature for boss. It's contracts. It's been
That's
signed.
true.
Cracked eggs, signature bosses.
Can't be
That's
both.
true.
Oh, and blunt force, steel
But,
tube.
but what says Park
No.
about signature
Yeah.
and steel tube,
Steel
or eggs
tube.
and steel tube?
I think steel tube says park because if it's a play park, it's full of like swings and climbing frames and stuff.
Okay, time for the presentations. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Use it in a novel way, please.
Hello.
Yes, good.
So. That's really got Terry. So I've had a real good think, and I think that Dom is cleared. I think Dom's fine. Nothing particularly says Park about Laurie either for me. I think Ivan says Park if it is stone and at the moment luggage right now, but otherwise fine. But that's a big suspicion. For Rosie, I would say it's probably bat and key, and I don't think anything else necessarily because I think vacation home would be sand, but could be sand in theory. I think Laurie's fine. I think Ken, it could be steel tube and signature, or could be scarf, but then that's not like a hot. That'd be a suffocation.
Yeah, true.
And then obviously looking at myself, I can't speak, without bias here, but it's not me. There we go.
Hello. Let's see. I have got a headache now, but I think I agree with Sullivan a lot. It's not me. Bat and key is what I'm. Boss really points to khaki for me out of all of this. Maybe the luggage and the stone. So it's between you two, I think. I'm slightly worried about the fact that we're all going for Rosie. It makes me feel like Rosie might be the accomplice, and we might have a murderer over here, perhaps. But certainly the clues so far are screaming that end. I'm not feeling Park over here. I'll be honest. Or I feel sick, and so I am going to yield my time.
Attention! Little ocarina.
Yeah.
We're going to run out of ideas for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Six.
glad I got first. Yeah, we already jumped the shark with that.
I
Whatever
just
that
used it as a
was.
magnifying glass.
Yeah, I think it's over there somewhere. Although Sullivan was on my radar, but there's not much that's bossy about graffiti plastic anymore. So he's less on my radar now. So it's over these two, like everyone else. Obviously, I could be the murderer. Any one of us could be, but it's one of them. Antique actually screams boss most to me because it's a rich person's thing, and it's cracked. Can be cracked. You can see the antique everywhere.
But I would like to draw you back to the victim's build, which is fit. What were they doing in this park where they died? That is the main question that we intend to solve. Were they running around? Were they a runner who got hit with a stone? Or were they playing baseball and they were hit with a bat? I think these are the important questions. I think I agree with everyone that I'm clear.
The dumbbell.
The dumbbell outdoor gym, an outdoor gymnasium. I think Dom's pretty clear. Sullivan, you could make a case for, but I think it's a stretch. Ken, I think Ken's good for boss, but not good for maybe the other stuff. So unless the other things are hiding in there, and tricky. My murderer's array doesn't really fit Park.
No.
Hello. I think Park doesn't really fit exactly for anybody apart from me and Ken. So for me, it's between those two. I think Park says eggs as well, and Park says steel tube to me.
Park says eggs.
But it also says dumbbell and it also says bat.
The
So
accomplices.
I think for boss, key, I guess. I think also luggage. And I'm out of time. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is.
I would like to. So, if you're thinking about me and Rosie, then think about Rosie, because it would be this is a blind alley. I'm looking around. Yeah, I was thinking dumbbell as well. For some reason, I'm suspicious of Ken, despite the fact it doesn't seem to match up. And in every social deduction game I've ever played, Dom has beaten me and been evil. So I'm just assuming it's also, you unless proven otherwise. Slightly running out of ideas, although I just think there's so many things that line up with Rosie's information. And I will yield my time.
Great. Which means we move on directly to the final round of the game. Terry is going to come in and take one of these cards away and place a brand new one in this round, guys. It's time to start chucking in your badges. Okay, so the new card.
If you do bracelet and stone, there's nothing about boss there, I think.
So the new card is a sudden incident, and it's the loss of valuables. So there was also a theft, maybe, with this boss.
Okay, so in terms of loss of valuables, let's have a little look. I think because there's nothing particularly valuable here except maybe a candlestick.
I agree.
Yeah.
But why would you have that in the park?
Why would you have that in the park? There's nothing. Dom's fine.
There's nothing valuable there. No.
Nothing valuable there. There's nothing really valuable here either.
What about the eggs?
A signature.
The eggs. Well, the eggs do
What's
speak.
more valuable than protein?
Yeah, I mean, when you bring your eggs to the park, like we all do,
They're going to get cracked.
they'll get cracked through. I think that actually may well clear Ken.
So the identity of the signature. That's valuable.
Could
Signature
be.
You
passport.
can't steal a whole identity from
Yeah.
a signature.
Oh, it's prescription.
Could be Jurassic Park. And dinosaur eggs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Actually,
they can hatch
Ken,
into
yeah,
anything.
I think it's you now. That's really important.
Lost valuable gift.
Gift.
Oh, the gift.
Laurie's fine. I think nothing says park
Well,
about.
I mean, rope could potentially say park. We have sort of overlooked the rope.
Yeah,
There
but
could be like a rope,
Happens to be in the shape of a noose.
rope swing. A rope swing is something that you would
Accidental
absolutely
rope.
find in a
Yeah,
park.
found
That's
that rope.
true.
And also,
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and as we all know, you would definitely not put down suffocation for rope. You'd obviously put severe injuries at a rope. Doesn't
Pretty
matter.
severe.
The ring is a valuable that I think instead of the key could also denote boss in a weird way, in a sort of sideways kind of way.
That's a really good point.
Really?
Yeah, I think I agree.
I don't know
think
why.
I
but
agree.
Similarly of a boss, I think of a ring.
It's
I agree.
valuable.
The
It's
key,
valuable.
the
It's
key
the most
could do
valuable
both because it could not just be keys
Like
to
the
a
Lord of the
car,
Rings, he's
but
the boss of Mordor.
keys to an office, keys to a shop. He could be the person who closed up the office for the day.
ring,
So I think key is better at describing boss and loss of valuables than ring, perhaps, because I steal the key, I can steal the car. I steal the key, I can open the office and open the vault.
I can see why you'd
Well,
be
how
keen on
strongly
that.
do you feel like that?
bracelet owner?
Bracelet boy.
Wow, anyone could use one of these.
Yeah, you could chuck in your badge and you could throw it in there.
Your luggage is
if
probably
I-
full of valuables, isn't it?
If I did, would I go key bat or key dumbbell?
Bat probably because of the.
I think bat for
park.
park. is
Dumbbell is
Dumbbell could be
park
outdoor
rated.
park.
Do I hand in my badge?
Yeah, I'm considering it. Just to rule something out.
I think I am going to hand in my badge.
Yep.
I'm going to hand in my badge. Oh no, hang on.
It's really hard.
Do you know, this is why you're 2 decades from retirement.
I will say it's now or never.
I'm going to do it now because I think Rose is the accomplice, but I want to eliminate some possibilities for everyone else. So I'm just going to get on with it. I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to go for ring and bat.
That's correct.
I just became head of the Hong Kong police.
Hey, don't celebrate too much just
Oh,
yet,
shit.
folks, because what happens when you get the correct murder is the murderer gets to guess who the witness is.
My mum's
Would
friend
you like to
is-
confer with your accomplice, Rosie?
I would.
Yeah?
Yeah, you think it is?
I think it's Ken.
Do you? I think it's Sullivan.
You think it's Sullivan?
Yeah.
I was trying to look at, so I don't know. Sullivan was quite leaning off the thing. Dom did a big play to push people away from you after the first round where everyone was going after you. So that might have been chucking it in to steer us away. I was just trying to look at who was looking at mine and your cards the most, and it looked like Ken, but that might just be proximity. So.
Thing is, if Sullivan was the witness, I don't think he'd have been gunning for me so hard. So...
My mum's friend at school, her dad was the head of Hong Kong police for a while.
Wow. And he made this game.
In real life. Sent every single one of his colleagues to prison for murder.
That's how you
I don't know, it's really hard, but it's really tough to tell because the park thing just put people on you. It wasn't like, there was no need for the conversation to be steered in your direction, it was just happening from day dot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ken. Yes!
I was watching you like a fucking hawk.
God damn it, Ken.
Bad luck.
Ken.
Ken, your tell is that you're so nice.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah, okay, we are gonna go again. So we'll reset and we'll see you in a sec. Game nummer 2 and the final game that we're going to be playing. We've got new clues and new murder weapons. Let's go through them all. Sullivan, what have you got this time?
So we've got a puppet, or as they would say, puppet in Germany, a tie, an audio, a cassette tape, wallet, crutch, blood release. Blood release? What does that mean? Horrific, a pillow, and plastic bag.
We've got the playing cards, a spring, dice, sawdust, and then murder weapons, e-bike, which the Germans call a Motorola, which I love. Mad dog, which they call a Tollvertigerhund, which I think is fantastic. Folding chair, clapstool, and injection, which is injection. Yeah.
I've got the plague. It's my first murder weapon. Plague. A trophy, some radiation, and bite and tear. And
Wow.
some fangs.
What are your clues?
Savage.
My clues are menu. Yep, you can. It looks like a breakfast menu. Some stockings, some curtains, and some coins.
Wow, you've been out for dinner.
Out for dinner and
Highly sexy.
Watch the show.
And
draw the
then you've
curtains.
got the plague.
passed on whatever you're carrying.
Playing, please.
Probably
This is what we're wearing.
Throwing that money at the people in
This
the
is-
show.
So this is obviously rabies that you've
Yeah.
given this person.
This is what I wear in the bedroom.
Mutant rabies.
And you got first prize.
Yeah.
Because you've got all those legs.
Yeah. So fast at running.
Right, my clues are a helmet, a necklace, an ID card, and an IV bag. And my methods of murder are a kick, a brick, a machine, and a sculpture.
Machine.
Kicks,
So
Rick.
vague.
Ho ho ho! I
what
now
the-
have a machine.
Can I see what the thing is for kick?
It's
Kick
just-
is
if someone's
trick.
doing
karate.
It's just a little karate
It's a karate
kick.
kick.
Great, brilliant. Okay, great.
really
Yeah.
big, strong.
Much
Are you a
more
horse?
abstract.
Yeah, that's it.
Strong kick. My clues are banknote, postal stamp, specimen, like it's like a moth in a frame, and a certificate. So I've got a real weenie here. And then my murder weapon is punch, blender, smoke, and machete.
Oh, very good.
So yeah. It's nice.
I've got a leaf, a lunchbox, a button, and a switch. A switch. This seems so random, but there it is. And finally, murder weapons: scissors, alcohol, wine, virus.
Virus.
So
There's
very
a lot of plague going
heavy.
around,
Yeah.
and the
Plague heavy.
blood loss
I'm
thing.
ready to throw my badge in. I think it's Ivan.
Yeah.
Go on, I haven't even started.
Okay, well,
And you get it.
I just know.
it's time to find out who the murderer and who the accomplice are. If everyone could close your eyes if you're playing along at home. If you want to play along at home, close your eyes now as well. We'll tell you when to open them. Okay, murderer and accomplice, please open your eyes and find out who each other are.
Okay, murderer indicate the key evidence and means of murder. Okay, close your eyes. And then witness. open your eyes. And then witness, close your eyes. Everyone, open your eyes.
Okay, forensic scientist Terry. It's time to have the clues. Okay, here we go. So we have
That's very
our cause of death was an accident, which means there wasn't a murderer technically.
It's, I guess,
It's one of those.
It's a hitman accident.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a-
like one of those.
Manslaughter.
Yeah, manslaughter.
yeah.
Or like
You can create an accident.
you can create something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
look
Look like an accident.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accidents happen.
Then we have the location of the crime at the hospital. The victim's expression was they were struggling. The victim's identity was that they were middle-aged. The trace at the scene was body fluid, and the murderer's personality was forceful.
It doesn't look great for me because of this needle, you know.
Sullivan.
That could be an
Sullivan's-
accidental.
Sullivan's
use.
literally
Sullivan's got a
body
bucket of
fluid,
body fluid right there.
A bucket of body fluid.
Right now, the thing is that if it's blood release, it's going to be loss of blood.
That's true.
So you would
Oh, that's
never
got
put
a
down
point.
accident rather
But
than loss of blood.
injection could be an accident where they've put the wrong,
Yeah.
made it look like they've put the wrong thing in.
yeah, and it doesn't look
used,
good. For,
used too much force because they're so powerful.
it doesn't look good for me either
Injection
because crutch isn't
probably
good.
poisoning though.
Yeah, right.
Probably
Yeah, you'd
poisoning.
think it'd be
Yes,
more
that's actually
poisoning
true.
actually.
All
So I
of
think
them
that
are
actually
poison.
kind of clears you because nothing else there says.
Or what about the accident of letting a mad dog into the hospital?
Oh fuck! Of course, that's a classic one.
What's the one on the very
Oh,
right?
and oh no, they're driving their e-bike through there.
You can't come in here with that. This is Ford. Yeah, I'm making a terrible accident. I'm not a murderer.
Illness, disease.
It's a mad dog on an e-bike.
Radiation.
Illness, disease kind of rules out plague as
vertigo
well.
on
for
a
Ken.
motorbike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plague and radiation, I reckon.
I
Well,
think
radiation could be hospital.
Radiation could also be an like an accident.
I
Also,
think
I
it's
understand
probably
identifying as male or female, but I've never heard anyone identifying as child or middle-aged.
Yeah,
So I
that's true.
identify as middle-aged.
Middle-aged is.
You either are or are not.
I know I'm only 14, but I identify as middle-aged.
Helmet.
Well, should we look at hospital again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hospital is the
Hospital.
So hospital for me, for sure. Crutch, pillow is definitely in the conversation. Blood release would be if it were loss of blood,
Agreed.
I think. But these two, I absolutely get. Injection is the only thing that says hospital here, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing else says hospital explicitly. It doesn't rule anyone out right now, but plague
Plague
and radiation.
maybe curtains.
Maybe curtains is a really good point.
I think
Maybe stockings if it's a sexy hospital.
Yeah.
It's for stockings.
We've all been there.
For the
Just because
nurse.
the picture's sexy doesn't mean the stockings were.
That's true.
No,
that's
that-
true. They
that's
could be.
true.
They could be like
Could be a Christmas
hospital stockings. They
stocking.
could be like for Legos.
Be an old-fashioned
They're not
nurse.
sexy. Yeah.
Yes.
IV bag.
IV
for
bag,
sure
that's
is
hospital, big
So,
time.
and maybe ID card. But if it's hospital and IV bag, then yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Machine.
Machine for accident.
Yeah,
Pretty
Yeah,
solid.
you could have a Mac.
absolutely.
Hospital.
Of hospital.
Um,
I mean, potentially certificate, but I think that's
On a doctor's
kind
Yeah,
of
specimen,
it.
depending on how you read specimen as
Yeah,
well.
guess so.
what's that? What's
Banknote.
Post stamp and banknote.
what's the murder weapon? So is that smoke?
Machete, smoke, blender, and
Blender,
punch.
Yeah, smoke could be something, but
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
virus.
Yeah, I mean that's very hospital, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
alcohol and scissors. There's a lot of
Yeah.
surgical stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think virus, for the same reason, if we were going to talk about Ken,
Illness
the
and
plague
disease.
and the plague, yeah, illness and diseases on there. So you would say that was probably virus. I think radiation can still fall under accident, potentially.
Yeah.
This struggling mixed with accident is really weird, though, isn't it? So it's an accident, not like a sudden fall,
No,
but an accident that might lead to like
it's like a horrible
struggling.
accident. Yeah.
So you're alive for a while, unless struggling refers to the clue.
They could
But
refer to
victim's expression makes you think it's about the cause of death.
I think also the thing to look at is where it's not as well, right? So like if there's anything on here that, because the options on here are quite limited.
Yeah.
So it's the case of like, why is hospital the best one here? Because like hotel, there's a genericness to hotel that you can get a lot of stuff in. Building site similarly leads to like brick and stuff like that, maybe machine. Restaurant is Menu. Who's got menu?
I
You've
got menu. Not a restaurant.
No,
Pub.
so
I'm
not a
in the
restaurant.
pub. We've got playing cards.
Yeah,
dice.
exactly. You've got like
Folding
Dom's
chair.
got classic pub.
Classic pub.
All you,
Mad
need is,
dog.
all you need is a darts board, Dom, and you have a great pub.
Got my e-bike. Got my mad dog.
To be honest, Dom, I think you are pretty close to being cleared here.
I would
I don't-
disagree, actually. I
I was
think
about to clear Rosie, but I'm going to change my tune.
I genuinely do disagree because I think the shall I use my 30 seconds?
Exactly.
Yeah.
what I was
Hello.
gonna say.
Okay, I'm using my 30 seconds. Thank you very much. So I
cheek.
think the things that are like sort of polarizing and pointing towards Dom are accident. The victim's expression was struggling, but their personality was forceful. So that says to me, if there's evidence of their body fluid like on the floor, but then it's not loss of blood, which means that the scene wasn't like covered in blood, it wasn't a mess. They could have easily been injected with something and then it like had, died in bed. It's kind of what I'm like imagining. And I think middle-aged could relate to like any of the clues.
Middle-aged people play cards.
Middle-aged people.
Middle-aged
board
people
games.
play board games.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
my time.
And my proof is.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is actual. I don't know if this is good proof or like refutation, because I think you could say a lot of the same things for e-bike. Because my initial thing was accident, e-bike accident.
Yeah.
Forceful, someone could push them off the accident. They'd go to hospital because they were still struggling and like, I don't know, road rash, bleeding a lot. I'm not sure. Middle-aged, maybe cards. What the only issue with it is we haven't got a lot of clues for the thing. Body fluid, again, if you'd fallen. But that's most of the clues on e-bike. So I'm not massively confident on this. I just think it's kind of, if two of the different murder weapons for Dom are saying loads of the clues, that has to be wrong on at least half of the things. But yeah, that's one thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing bodily fluid. I'm seeing a
Get that
bucket of
checked
blood.
out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll pass it on.
Thank you. Look, I'm a Teletubby. So I don't think it's Dom because I think injection would be poison. Why wouldn't you choose poisoning over accident? Similarly to like blood release and blood loss, why wouldn't you choose loss of blood? Just doesn't make any sense to me. E-bike, none of that really speaks to me. Hospital, I see what you mean. They'd be rushed to hospital, but that's not where the murder took place. The murder took place on the road, but I suppose there is no road option there. But I don't think it's Dom. I think there's lots of options here. We have to just keep on waiting for new clues because so much says hospital, including my own ones, which I'm aware of and scared of.
You should be scared. I've run out of things to do with this. You should be scared because I am suspicious of your crutch. I think that could be used to stitch up an accident in a hospital. I don't believe in Rosie's argument is absolute tosh about injections and what have you. Rubbish. You'd put poisoning, definitely. But I do think Rosie's possibly nearly in the clear here. I'm looking at Laurie and Ken especially, but also you've got Virus as well.
I have the virus and alcohol answers.
Yes, I think some of it's hard because it says accident, and we do have illness and disease on that list, which makes all of them a bit more sketchy because I'm looking at IV bags, I'm looking at plagues. Radiation is the one I'm really thinking would be more accident, even though you get radiation poisoning. But you could make that look like an accident more than the others. And I think I'm going to cede my time. So for me, it's one of these three. But you are still in the mix. You're not off the hook yet. It's definitely not me.
It's fair enough. I think you're the only one who's off the hook.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Rosie may be. I don't know actually.
I see
I'm
my
specimen
100%,
thing
but I
is
don't think
tricky.
it is Rosie.
No,
I think she's
it's
my
unlikely.
least likely witness.
Smoke
but
inhalation
I don't,
accident, I guess.
Wow.
Witness suspect.
Open shut case. It's Dom. Is that what everyone will say? Was that what we were saying? I actually trust Dom. I think injection's the only hospital thing there, and it doesn't feel like it's an injection. I'm looking at maybe the brick. It fell on. A bunch of bricks fell on someone. They were struggling. That's an accident.
struggling. Yes.
So you would say in that
IV
case,
bag.
this is the location of the crime.
IV
We're
bag.
using this to go to my clue and not my murder
It
weapon.
literally says building site.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but
IV
it might.
Might be the
Terry
machine.
might have thought it was easy to guide someone towards a brick than it was later.
Building
I don't know. That's something I saw. Maybe it's over there. The surgical scissors. I'm looking at one of those two.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Well, if we're looking at one of these two, I'm going to point in the direction of Ivan, because the issue I have is you've got a couple of things that would appear in a hospital. Scissors are pretty generic and could be pretty much anywhere. The virus, I don't think you would use illness and disease to point to a virus. That leads me to looking at the alcohol mostly on your side of things, which could be like a accidental overconsumption of alcohol. You wouldn't pick pub, I guess, because maybe the wine was a thing that pushed Terry away from choosing pub or restaurant, because it then becomes confusing. Definitely the way the alcohol is also depicted on that card gives a sort of sterilization vibe. So that's the option from Ivan's for me.
All right.
Cool.
There we go.
should
Okay,
be
new
looking at Ivan's
clues.
So we have lost the murderous personality being forceful, and we have gained the motive of the crime being power.
Two sides of the same coin, I'd
How
say.
does one gain power?
So I had a sudden theory, which was Ken, right?
Oh yeah.
So accident could be like a radiation leak slip type thing. Hospital, you get surgical curtains. You get curtains in the ward. Struggling, I think if you get radiation poisoning, you start
lot of
coughing up a
struggling.
lot of bodily fluids. The only thing about it is radiation poisoning, would you say illness, disease? But poisoning is poisoning there.
But I think
poisoning is
power.
good.
I think power points to radiation.
Power points to radiation. Middle-aged.
Nuclear power.
Curtain twitches, middle-aged. It's quite a thing, I don't know.
Stockings, middle-aged.
I've got no idea about forceful. That doesn't necessarily make any sense with that. But I was just watching all the accusations, and I just suddenly thought this actually fits. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we
That's-
haven't
that
discussed
fits
the possibility that the victim, like we're thinking the victim could be a patient, but the victim could also be a doctor. So like the victim that would go with them being middle-aged potentially, and also having power, like and being in a hospital. So like if the victim was
Interesting.
Does that
Yeah.
lead us to any of these though? That's the only thing.
Well, I'd say maybe I think scissors and alcohol, but we only need one. I don't know. I'm not sure really. I mean, power.
Power makes
That
me think
also makes me think of money. So like
But money is
inheritance
on
and
Oh yeah, money is on there.
oh, that's true. So
Yeah.
power is
Power could be machine as well.
Yeah, but it's
radiation.
That's
is
the
probably
motive.
the
Radiation
biggest
is the
thing,
most
isn't it?
obvious one.
Bodily
Unless we're
fluid,
talking about like
radiation.
power is in power over somebody.
yeah, it's the motive of the crime. So it's
Yeah.
like they killed because they wanted more power.
They wanted more power. Yeah.
So certificate.
Certificate makes
Certificate,
does
yeah.
jump out a bit. That does fit.
Again, ID.
Puppet.
You could do ID.
Someone is your puppet.
It's true. I've been thinking though, between crutch and pillow, there's only two hospital things. That doesn't give you any sort of bodily fluid as the
fluids,
thing that is
yeah.
left. And the only thing that does is blood release, which would lead to loss of blood. I actually think I'm in the fucking clear, which I'm very happy.
Well,
You think?
blood release.
No, I know I am.
You could
But I
you
think
could
for you guys,
clearly
I am as well.
you could that could be made to look like an accident. You know, so
it's-
someone
Blood
I know.
release is going to be
I
loss
just
of
feel
blood.
if there's
I know.
If you're but you'd have to assume the terror would have to be mad.
Well, the
Nobody
loss of
would do
No,
loss
not
of
necessarily,
blood.
because there's a trace on the scene is bodily fluid. So the fact that it says blood release and not like not a different way of like
stabbing.
blood being there.
I get your point.
You know what I mean?
I
Like it could easily be. You can absolutely.
I would just
I
point
would
to the fact
say-
that blood stain is an option here. So like, it's probably
Blood
not
stain,
blood, but
yeah, I
maybe
don't
maybe
think
they
it
were
is
hit
blood
so hard
release.
over the back of the head that they pissed themselves.
Maybe,
Maybe
maybe.
that's the option.
What other
Maybe.
fluids
I
are
just,
there?
I just feel like
Yeah,
if,
which are the
if you
bile.
go for blood
Name the
release,
humours, yeah.
Black
it would be
bile,
the
yellow
stupidest thing that has ever been done in this game. It'd be very silly. It'd be very silly. There's no way it's blood release.
Yeah, it's called a loss of blood. That is
Loss
like
of
the
blood
same
and
word.
blood stain.
I agree with your argument, Sullivan, but the tenor of your defence makes me suspicious.
It's because people keep on going, but what about blood release? And I keep on going,
just
no,
feel-
obviously
I don't
not.
think
Spending
it
so
is.
long trying to work out why you're innocent. Like you should already know that.
So
you
where
are.
else? Where else?
I'm just working. I'm working it out for other people because I need to present my argument.
Yeah, I think you're.
Yeah. But I don't think it's
I'm
like a
kinda
dead
come round.
cert.
It is
Like,
a dead set. There's
it's
no
just-
blood release for sure.
You can't say that as the
I
person
can't
with
because
blood
there's blood
release.
stain and there's lots of blood and they weren't
is
chosen,
ridiculous.
Rosie.
That is
You are mad.
ridiculous.
You're mad. You're mad. I'm living in a mad world.
I think it's an as good a theory as literally any other theory that has been posited.
No, it isn't.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
It is.
Wait
No,
a
it
minute,
isn't.
Wait a
That's
minute.
completely absurd.
This doesn't really tie in with power, but maybe it does. I'm suddenly thinking lunchbox and virus accident. It's been made to look like an accident, like the food is off, but actually someone's put a virus in the lunchbox that would lead to a bodily fluid release. And maybe it's power because it's like...
You'd say child.
I would
say child for
pow-
lunchbox.
but
Also,
I think if it's a virus in a hospital...
Light switch powers stuff.
Oh.
Light switch is turning the power on and off.
But
They
also, I would
desperately
say
wanted to
middle-age...
touch that light switch.
Look,
They had to take him out.
I'd say if they're working at a hospital, middle age is what points to lunchbox. Because that's the sort of people who bring their lunch in lunchboxes.
Yeah.
Hospital people.
I honestly think you could make.
for the last 5 minutes.
You could,
He's still trying to work out what anything about the blood thing.
Must be the
Okay,
I'm
guys,
ready to
look,
Sullivan.
I'm ready to make my case. What about Sullivan's loss of blood?
we need to think about it. We need to think about
We
it.
need to seriously consider it. I know that this could have said bloodstain. That's fine, and I know this could have said loss of blood. But what if an accident at the hospital caused somebody to lose all of their blood? They accidentally kissed a vampire and lost all of their blood. They were struggling, they were middle-aged, and it was all for power, because vampires do it for power. All right? I think we should consider that.
oh my god.
Who's next?
All right, I'll go next. Right, I'd just like to posit the theory that a doctor, they come in, they see their ex-husband lying there, they go, right, I'm just gonna tap into your IV and I'm just gonna release some of your blood, and then they just do a slit in the bag, and then they're just releasing all of their blood, and then there's just bodily fluids all over this middle-aged person's room, and they're struggling but they're dying, and then their ex has suddenly got all the power because they're going to inherit like everything from the death, and what a terrible accident during this blood release, and I can really see it. I can just see it, guys. I can just see it.
She's absolutely done
Yeah.
with it.
She's
Bloodstain is there.
I'm voting for Sullivan.
You're voting for Sullivan.
I'm voting for Sullivan Brown.
This is a light bulb. Ding.
very good. Very good.
Nice.
IV bag, machine. Bear with me. Accident. The machine pumped too much of a certain bodily fluid into the body. Hospital. It happened in hospital. Struggling. You're sort of drowning in your own liquids. Middle-aged.
We're putting your piss back in.
They put the piss in the wrong direction. Body fluid. Come on. Power. The machine had too much power. It pumped too much jelly and forceful. The machine was being forceful. That's why it's the murderer's personality, because it was an accident and the murderer was the machine. Light bulb.
All right, so we've started.
Light bulb.
Yeah, it's smashed. It's smashed. It's either a very good idea or a very bad idea, and only the light bulb and Terry know the truth. And maybe Laurie.
Guys, we need to start thinking about this blood release. I just realised that, you wouldn't mention loss of blood or bloodstain for blood release. Why would you? That would be madness. You'd definitely leave that off the board. So I'm just saying, I shouldn't have chosen it. I'm an idiot. Blood release.
Thank you. I am quite convinced by Rose's argument. To be perfectly
In
honest.
the real world.
A little bit.
In the real actual world.
A little bit.
You're insane.
But I haven't. Let me finish.
You're insane.
I'm not to be interrupted. That time gets added on to my time that Sullivan was speaking. I quite like your IV bag machine theory as well. Compelling theory.
Thanks.
I don't know if it's the picture of the machine that's making me sort of a bit like,
That's fair.
because also that makes me feel like, is this a desperate attempt to push suspicion away because I was on the money with the lunchbox and the virus? And it was a power play in the hospital staff room. That's what was really going on. That's why there's a lunchbox. It doesn't say child to me because I work with people who bring a lunchbox into work, and they are closer to middle-aged than child. I'm sorry to say.
But do you work with children? Because they also bring lunchboxes to work, to school.
I don't deny that, but I don't think it would be a. I will brook no interruption, and I yield my time.
A lot of good theories. Ivan might be on the money. Maybe we should test that. Maybe we should. But have we considered blood release? Because what if Terry just thought it's too easy? Sullivan's beefed it. He's picked blood release. I'll make it harder. In all seriousness, I'm handing my badge and guessing blood. No. I think IV bag is probably the most hospital-y
It is
thing,
extremely
which
hospital.
doesn't, which also could work with accident with
Yep.
machine. You're my time.
Okay, well that's everyone's presentations, which means we get one final clue.
Oh boy.
The duration of the
prolonged.
crime being gradual is well, a few days you could die of.
Yeah.
like-
I'm sorry,
Even
this
weeks
is
you can.
IV bag situation right here.
This is machine and IV bag.
This is that's confirmation. As far as I'm
Gradual
concerned.
loss of
But
blood,
confirmation
final
bias
blood release.
isn't what? Yes, that's what it is.
I'll make a case against radiation, which is that if you saw someone die of radiation, you'd be like, oh, that was an accident. You'd be like, oh, there's been an accident here.
I mean, power, radiation. I think, very
I
strong.
just feel you would definitely do one of these.
But the motive
Radiation
of the
and
crime,
poisoning
Radiation
is
poisoning.
a
Yeah,
phrase.
The motive of the crime has nothing to do with radiation necessarily, right?
No,
That's just it's for power. You want to gain
No,
power.
you want to
Yeah,
gain
It's not
power.
like things that switch power on and off.
But she did do
So-
a clue before,
doesn't-
which was kind of double meaning.
It has to relate to one of the.
Well, we've not looked at any.
clues,
We've not
though,
really
right?
looked at anything that's like what do the
What the
powerful people have. What have you got? What was your one on the far right there? Wallet.
I've got a wallet,
Yeah, which money?
cassette tape, tie.
Ties for bosses.
But I think none of my other clues actually
No, I
point
don't
to
necessarily think so,
So,
unless it's
Except
blood.
Except blood
Blood
release.
release.
Middle age is a bit
Cassette
sort of
tape.
wallety, isn't it? Gradual.
The thing is, geld money is on there. So
Money
Money's
is
in
on
there.
there.
Money's on
Yeah,
there.
power. I mean, you could potentially say cassette tape.
Or
Like,
tie as well. Tie would
Yeah.
be more
Tie would be
wouldn't it?
because cassette tape could indicate they had something on them.
Yeah.
See, the fact that there's
Yeah.
other things in there like prolonged and a few days, because I was going to say, oh, virus could be gradual, but actually I would probably put that more on
Few
few
days.
days.
Yeah, a few days.
Yeah.
Machine,
Even
hospital
radiation, I would.
machine, I would say probably prolonged. Radiation, it depends how much radiation. It could be very brief.
Yeah.
Plague would be unclear or a few days.
Yeah.
So what are you saying it is
Unlikely.
then?
I don't know.
I still think.
It's undone all my theories except for this
release.
blood
Yeah,
release.
this blood release.
That would be that would be gradual.
We do keep
Would be gradual.
Would be gradual.
I don't know. It could be like alcohol,
Unless it was- it would
well,
be very
alcohol
quick.
poisoning.
Alcohol
But you could have been
poisoning.
poisoning.
Yeah, I see an issue with that, Laurie.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to take you through this one. I think, yeah,
I'm trying to see what other things line up with power, for instance, because
for me, it's
the flip
radiation.
side we've not done
or
is
it's machine.
whether it's gaining power to gain power. So things like certificate
No, blender's not
or
gradual.
necklace. I guess
Money.
would be money.
One of them's money.
Money is power, to be
Money.
fair.
Yeah,
Power
but
is
that's
money.
again, there's money
Money
on
on
there.
Well, there should only be one of them because money is power, so you don't need two.
Yeah.
Faulty
I
game.
think I'm in the clear. There isn't anything here really that directly relates to hospital, and there are so many
I
other
did agree with you, but the
options.
lady does protest too much, methinks.
Yeah.
Smoke.
Now I think she is the killer.
Slow. I've got blender and
People
machete.
punch people in hospital all the time. Blenders.
I think smoke's not
I
great.
love blending up my medicine sometimes in hospital.
Yeah,
People
nice
do
powder.
machetes.
People do post smoke
Yeah.
from hospitals.
They do post smoke
To kill people.
To kill people. So yeah, these are all options actually. I think I'm going to
actually a
guess
really good
Rosie
point.
at some point.
Is a death by smoke inhalation gradual?
But you'd have suffocation.
You would be
wouldn't
struggling. Is suffocation one of the
Could be,
options?
yeah. But where's the hospital come from?
It is. Some,
Maybe
yeah,
a
you would have
specimen
suffocation, wouldn't
or
you?
certificate.
certificate at doctor's office. It's not great.
Accident.
It doesn't really do the thing.
I think it
The
has to be
blender.
that it looks like it was an accident. So maybe initially you don't know. An accident, gradual, like that, and actually body fluid all indicates to me that it was like something a bit more insidious, like an injection or like
What about
like the IV bag or
someone-
maybe
Alcohol.
radiation
You actually got alcohol.
I have
Yeah,
got alcohol.
he's got
Yeah,
alcohol.
but-
It looks like surgical
poisoning.
alcohol as
Yeah.
well.
or virus. Yeah.
But actually, does not
What
chime with
about
accident
someone
necessarily.
falling into a blender? The perfect accident.
Yeah, at a hospital.
Gradual-
one of those
gradual
huge
blending.
hospitals.
Fed through one of those bits, so it's really
Well, where do you
gradual.
think they get the blood to put back into people in
Well,
the
through
transfusion?
blood release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blood release.
It all comes back to me at the end of the
But
day.
you get that. You start with a blender and you get that.
Yeah. Okay.
Final
Blender.
presentations.
Final
and
presentations.
if needed.
We need to hang in our badges.
Or we can just hand in our badges. We don't have to do the presentations.
Don't
We can
have
just
to.
start handing in
That's
badges,
what happened last
folks.
I just went straight to badge.
Power.
Because I
And just remind
Does
me.
anyone want me to take this blood
If one
release
gets
off
it
the
wrong, the game continues.
No, because you have to nail the one it is as well.
Is it worth me trying that Laurie theory
it's
just to
worth it.
eliminate
I
it?
think it's worth
It's
it.
worth doing.
If it's about eliminating possibilities, I think since I feel quite adamant about it, I'm going to go Ivy bag, machine, Loza. Good idea.
That's correct.
Oh!
Well done.
All right, okay.
Very good.
Good.
Who's the witness?
Who's your accomplice?
Who is? Well, Dom's my accomplice.
Who is the witness?
Now, so Ivan's either done a very good double bluff and come out very strong for me, and is the witness.
Oh.
Or it's Sullivan.
Why do you think it's Sullivan?
The thing that made me think it was Sullivan was that he absolved me very quickly, and it felt like a ploy to test how I would react to that. Because if he absolved me and I was the accomplice, which I was, I think he was waiting for me to be like, oh no, don't rule me out. That's all I've got to go on.
My feelings it's Rosie.
Really?
Yeah. Rosie pushed stuff back onto you for a bit, just so we didn't rule you out completely.
That's
But I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't
They've
know
done a
in
very
this
good
one.
job.
You should say Ken then.
Yeah, which means.
What are the chances of me
Ken.
being twice in a row?
Well, what are the chances of me being on the evil team? Well, slightly better chances.
Yeah.
Of being twice in a row. I'm gonna go.
I'll go with your gut.
I'm gonna go-
If your gut's Rosie, I'll go.
Gonna go Rosie.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Is everyone ready?
Ooh, who was it? It was Sullivan. It wasn't. Very good. Well done. Interesting.
Good, very good.
I'm glad I called that bit.
Yeah, you
Very
did.
first.
So my plan was to go hard on Dom round 1 to make it look like it wasn't me, because that isn't something a witness would do, and then go on Ken round 2 to make sure that it then looked like I was but then I actually, when I had that light bulb, I was like, no, I need to say it now. So yeah.
So it wasn't blood release.
That was my
Check
next
your card
guess.
again, Sullivan.
Honestly, it was
Sullivan,
my
check
next
your card
guess.
again.
We won, guys! Yeah! That's my first
Idiots.
ever game. Why would you pick blood release? It's right there. Lots of blood.
No, it's obviously going to point to accident and whatever the other one was. That was a blood stain.
That's my first ever win on a board game.
So, congratulations.
Well done.
My duck.
Ivan.
Thank you very much.
So that brings our game of Deception Murder in Hong Kong to an end. But join us next week on Board Game Club, where we're going to be playing The Thing, Infection at Outpost 31. We will see you then. 3, 2, 1. Get on board!
God!
Whoa!